Want all the benefits of a Which subscription for half the price of an annual membership? Well, act fast because our current offer ends on the 31st of January. That means time is running out to purchase an annual full access subscription at the low price of just £49.50. That's a saving of 50% and works out at less than £1 per week. A Which subscription gives you access to all our product reviews, from fitted kitchens and ovens to mattresses, cars and televisions. Which buy all the products we review and test them rigorously in our lab so you know what to expect from your latest purchase. And remember, our in-depth reviews are always independent and impartial. The full access subscription also gives you access to the Which app, use of the Ask Which service where you can receive one-to-one personalised buying advice, as well as the Which magazine delivered to your door every month. What's more, sign up now and you will also receive the 2024 Which Car Guide. So whatever you have planned for 2024, whether it's a new car or some long-awaited home improvements, save now with a half-price full access annual subscription and make better buying decisions all year round.
Hello and welcome to the Which Shorts podcast. I'm Rob Lilly-Jones. This is the podcast that brings you the very best articles from across Which. Quick question, if you're a regular listener, what have you made of our last couple of episodes? Throughout January, we've been getting AI to read the articles here on the podcast, and your feedback will help tell us whether we enlist the help of AI with our voices more often. So please do send us your thoughts. Remember, the best way you can do this is to email. We're on podcasts@which.co.uk. That's podcasts@which.co.uk. This week, we're hearing more about why we here at Which have launched the Right to Connect campaign, fighting back against sneaky in-contract price rises. Once again, I'll hand over to AI for this piece, originally written by Yvette Fletcher.
An increasing number of broadband and mobile providers have quietly introduced sneaky annual price rises in recent years. BT started it in 2020, but now 11 popular providers are doing the same. They use a remarkably similar strategy, basing their increases around inflation, but adding an additional percentage on top. Back in 2020, inflation was low, so the total increase was just over 5%. In 2023, some bills increased by more than 17%. It's not only about the numbers, there's an inherent unfairness to these price rises. Usually, the benefit of locking yourself into a long-term contract is that it gives you certainty over the amount you'll pay. That's the case with most essentials: mortgages, rent, car insurance, and energy deals. But telecoms providers are undermining this principle. They want to have their cake and eat it, leaving you paying more without any right to exit. They argue that price rises are necessary because they aren't immune to the effects of inflation. But that doesn't excuse the unpredictable nature of this new pricing strategy. It's even more egregious, given that many contracts now last 24 months. It's become nearly impossible to truly know what you're committing to when you sign a new contract. Even the foremost financial experts can't definitively tell you what the rate of inflation will be in a year or two. Providers seem to expect their customers to be economists, gamblers, and mathematicians at the same time. That's why we've launched the Right to Connect campaign, calling for an end to these unpredictable and unfair hikes. We believe they not only directly penalise customers, but they also weaken price competition in the telecoms market. We're not the only ones with our eye on the issue. Last February, the telecoms regulator, Ofcom, expressed concerns that inflation-linked price rises create too much uncertainty for customers. It announced a review exploring whether intervention was required to ensure consumers understand what they should expect to pay when taking out a telecoms contract. The outcome of that review is imminent, but it won't be enough to stop price increases in 2024, so our campaign will continue. the Advertising Standards Authority has had to step in too. In July, it published the results of its own review exploring whether these price rises, which can be inescapable, were being properly advertised to new customers. It published guidance requiring mid-contract price rises to be more prominently stated in ads from mid-December. Crucially, this now means that providers will have to advertise what the price increase will be as soon as they know, usually January or February. Taking no action when your contract ends has always come with the risk of overpaying, but these price rises really bring that to the fore. Your bill will spiral because of the compound impact of increases every year. A hypothetical out-of-contract BT customer paying £33 per month in January 2020 would now be paying an extra £12 every month. Your provider will let you know your deal is ending with an end-of-contract notification. You have two main options to weigh up: switch or haggle. Perhaps the most striking finding from our research is that switching providers really has emerged as the key way to save. In particular, the average savings are much larger for broadband and pay TV customers who switch providers than for their fellow consumers who opt to haggle instead. The situation is flipped for mobile, though there's far less of a marked difference. Here, substantial savings are available on both sides of the fence. The world of telecoms leaves no time to build up a 7-year itch. If cost is imperative, broadband and pay TV customers should make switching their priority as soon as their contract ends. It makes simple sense. That means you get to spend more time paying attractive introductory prices. But it's true that another consideration, particularly for mobile customers, is how you actually feel about your provider. If it's not keeping you happy, that's yet another reason to go your separate ways. The idea of switching may seem like a hassle, but that's not usually the case. In all three sectors we looked at, the majority of customers who had switched providers told us they had found the process easy. The proportion was lowest for TV and broadband, probably because this is the most complex of the three categories with multiple elements to weigh up. But even here, 52% of switchers said that they had breezed through the process. Meanwhile, an impressive 76% of mobile customers told us that they had found switching easy. Industry changes introduced by Ofcom in 2019 go some way towards explaining the ease of switching mobile providers. It's a simple case of sending a text. Then you'll receive a code to pass on to your new provider. Switching broadband providers is set to get easier too. This was supposed to be in place last spring but was delayed, and is now due in March 2024. When introduced, One Touch Switch will mean you only ever have to contact your new broadband provider, even if you're changing between different networks, for example those operated by Openreach and HyperOptic or Virgin Media. Until then, it remains the case that you will only need to contact one provider if you move between operators on the Openreach network, such as BT, Sky, TalkTalk, Vodafone, and Zen Internet. No one will be enthusiastic about the prospect of changing providers. Maybe you've received excellent service, aren't convinced by the alternatives available, or don't see a depth of choice available in your area. Luckily, haggling is still an excellent way to get the best deal, even if the figures don't always look as impressive as for switching. 61% of mobile and broadband and TV customers say they saved by haggling, although it's only 44% for broadband customers. Our research also shows that it's possible to make bigger than average savings with certain providers, Sky and Virgin Media for broadband, and EE and Vodafone for mobile. Keep in mind that those who haggle may end up paying the same amount, or sometimes slightly more, with this still being a success. Haggling is an opportunity to discuss the elements of your deal and upgrade or downgrade if the package no longer fits your needs. Your haggling power will be greatest when you have the right to switch right away. That puts you in the driver's seat when ad hoc broadband price rises are announced by the likes of Sky. But the same isn't true when pay TV prices go up, as different rules are applied. You're also unlikely to get much traction if you attempt to haggle off the back of an inflation-linked price rise that's written into your contract. Although it's always advisable to contact your provider if you're concerned about being able to afford the service. When you haggle, you'll usually be asked to commit to a new contract. If you're with a provider that puts prices up every year, keep in mind that committing to a new fixed-term deal might mean agreeing to more price rises linked to inflation.
Thank you to Yvette Fletcher for that original piece, originally published in the January issue of Which magazine. And don't forget to tell us what you thought of what you've heard too. A reminder that we used 11 Labs AI text-to-speech generator to bring you today's episode, and you can send us your feedback at podcasts@which.co.uk. You can find more articles you'll find useful every day on everything from money and technology to home and garden advice by signing up to one of our many free email newsletters. And you can do that at which.co.uk/newsletters. We'll be back next week for another episode of Which Shorts, and thanks for listening. Which Shorts was produced by me, Rob Lilly Jones, while the exec producer was Grace Farrell.
Hi there, Harry from Which here. Our research has found that millions of families are skipping meals to survive the cost of living crisis. And our figures show that over 8 in 10 people in the UK are having to make adjustments to save money on food. With the price of essential products soaring, we believe that supermarkets have to step up to the plate to help us all. That's why we've launched the Affordable Food for All campaign, calling on the big supermarkets to take action and make a real difference to communities across the UK. If you agree and would like to join our campaign, then sign our petition at which.co.uk/affordable-food and use the hashtag AffordableFoodForAll on social media. Thank you.